Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election, in which the result is still being challenged in the courts. And presently, we are at the final stage of the first stage of challenge, that's the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. And we know that whatever is the outcome of this will eventually end up in the Supreme Court. Now, Peter Obi has submitted his final written address to the tribunal, and we are still looking at Peter Obi's submission in detail. In this one, this video, we are looking at the issue of electronic transmission of results. And you can see the INEC and the APC are claiming that electronic transmission of results is not compulsory, but Peter Obi, in his final submission, is saying that they stand by electronic transmission of results. They stand by BVAS and IReV. So let us see what Peter Obi and his lawyers have to say to counter APC and INEC that it is not compulsory, that the results of the presidential election must be transmitted electronically for collation process to start, or that they have to rely only on results that are uploaded on real time. So let us look at what Peter Obi has submitted to prove that they were wrong and Peter Obi is right. Now, the candidate of Labour Party in the presidential election held on February 25, 2023, Peter Obi has insisted that the mandatory provision of the Electoral Act 2022 and the subsidiary legislation, including regulations and guidelines for the conduct of general elections 2022 and manual for election officials 2023, which empower the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to introduce the use of modern technology for the conduct of the 2023 general election, is sacrosanct and should be the bedrock on which the election ought to have been conducted. In his final written address to the Presidential Election Petition Court, holding at the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja, Peter Obi lamented that INEC abandoned and discarded the much expected upload/transmission of the result of the election in real time on the day of election from the polling unit to the IReV, thus violating its own regulations. He noted that rather than the agreed process, INEC very strangely uploaded blurred, unreadable, and inaccessible documents and images to the IReV. Peter Obi stated as follows through his lawyers in their final written address. Pursuant to the mandatory provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 and the subsidiary legislations made thereunder, to which regulations and guidelines for the conduct of general elections 2022, regulations and guidelines, and manual for election officials 2023, manual for election officials, INEC introduced the use of modern technology for the conduct of the 2023 general election. By this, INEC provided that it will use bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, for the accreditation of voters in the polling units, and the upload/transmission of the result of the election in real time on the day of the election and during the electoral that's on the day of election, and upload it straight to the INEC result viewing portal, IReV. That is, INEC promise that the result of the election will be uploaded real time to the INEC results viewing portal, IReV. INEC vigorously campaigned that the use of technology in the electoral process, including the upload, transmission of the results of the election in real time using the BVAS from the polling units to the IReV, will ensure the integrity and the credibility of election results in Nigeria. Now, when INEC deviated from this process, it now brings to question does the election result that he now announced without IReV, is it now, does it meet the requirement of integrity and credibility, which they say that is supposed to ensure? That's why they brought technology and the electronic transmission of results in real time. Now let us continue to see what Peter Obi and his lawyers were arguing. They say, contrary to the requirement of the law and the manifest disregard of its own representation, INEC abandoned and discarded the much expected upload stroke transmission of the result of the election in real time on the day of the election from the polling unit to the IReV. INEC uploaded blurred documents on the IReV. Rather, very strangely, blurred, unreadable, and inaccessible documents, images, were uploaded by INEC to the IReV, purporting same to be the result of the election in various polling units. Continuing, Peter Obi and his lawyer say, these blurred images and inaccessible documents, which were purported to be the result of the election in the polling unit form EC8As, the net result of the upload of the blurred images on the IReV was that the result of the election could neither be authenticated nor verified, and thus lacked credibility and transparency. That was exactly the same view of European Union monitors in their final report, that the election lacked credibility and transparency, and the results they announced by INEC cannot be authenticated or independently verified. Now, the second and third respondent claim, that's Tinubu and Shetima, claim that the presiding officers duly uploaded polling unit results to the IReV flies in the face of the unchallenged documentary evidence of blurred, unreadable copies of the purported Form EC8A, certified by the first respondent, that's INEC, and given to the petitioners, that's given to Peter Obi and his lawyers, as the result of the election as per the Form EC8A in the polling unit. 4 boxes of blurred documents uploaded on the IReV by INEC and falsely represented as Form EC8A were tendered by the petitioners. The documents are blurred copies of documents certified by INEC as purported Form EC8A, ECS8B, EC4OG, EC60E, which were given to the petitioners as certified copies of the original document in possession of the first respondent under sections 102, 104, and 105 of the Evidence Act. These certified copies of purported original copies of election results through documents referred to above were in some cases blank A4 papers and pictures of unknown person. Continue, they said, Peter Obi and his lawyer said, we will show in the issuing argument that the second and third respondent's case, as per paragraph 76 of their reply to the petition, to the effect that the results being uploaded on the IReV are as pertained in the respective INEC forms, and that all the results being uploaded emanated from polling units where elections were conducted is totally out of sync with the unchallenged documentary evidence before the Honorable Court and identified above. In response to the petitioner's request and subpoena issued by the Honorable Court, INEC blatantly failed to comply with the requirement of the law by refusing to provide the petitioners with certified copies of top electoral operations copies of Form EC8A in the polling unit under paragraph 39 of the regulations and guidelines. Strangely, only the results of the presidential election equally held on the same polling unit using the same infrastructure could not, according to INEC as required by law, be uploaded or transmitted from the polling unit to the IReV. Apart from the blatant refusal to comply with the mandatory requirements of the law, the certified copies of the result of the election given to the petitioners by the INEC, the first respondent, manifestly show that the purported forms EC8As in several polling units were affected by mutilations, cancellations, alterations, and outright swapping of votes in favor of the second to the fourth respondent, and against the petitioners. This act of non-compliance are manifest of the certified copies of Forms EC8A given by the first respondent to the petitioners and are deemed as sufficient proof of the irregularities and non-compliance thereon within the meaning of the provisions of Section 137N of the Electoral Act 2022. The only excuse invented by the respondent in their reply to the petition was that the refusal to comply with the specific requirement of the law to upload, transmit the result of the election using the BVAS from the polling unit to the IReV was the occurrence of the alleged technological glitches on the day of the election. Though the presidential election was conducted at the same time, on the same day, at the same respective polling units with the National Assembly, Senate, House of Representative election. The result of the National Assembly election were successfully uploaded and transmitted from the BVAS to the IReV portal. Strangely, only the result of the presidential election, equally held in the same polling unit, using the same infrastructure, could not, according to INEC, as required by law, be uploaded, transmitted from the polling unit to the IReV. The petitioners, Peter Obi and his lawyers, provided unchallenged evidence that the failure stroke neglect to upload or transmit the result of presidential election held on 25th February 2023 was a violation of the collation process prescribed under the Electoral Act and also substantially affected the result of the election. Here, Peter Obi and his lawyers, they buried the claim by APC and INEC that you can disregard the electronic transmission, that's the result on BVAS, you can use the hard copies and just announce the result. But that's a lie. Ahead of this video, I will put for you two videos. You might have seen it before if you're a follower of the channel. I'll put for you Festus Okoye, where he was insisting that electronic transmission of results is compulsory. And he cited the enabling law that made it compulsory. Then I will cite the former Senate president who superintended over the making of the Electoral Act 2022, Ahmed Lawan, saying exactly the same thing, that if there is a dispute between the hard copies of the results held by the agents, that the authentic result is the one on the IReV. Now, if you announce a result that is not represented in the IReV, what have you done? It is a nullity. That is what Peter Obi and his lawyers have proven. So let us see what the court will say on this matter. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you and yours. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. And there's a video ahead that will authenticate what Peter Obi and his lawyers said in their final written submission, that it is mandatory that they should use IReV results uploaded to the IReV to announce results. That is the authentic coalition process. Any other thing is a nullity. You see it, I will leave it, you watch it immediately now. The position of what the former Senate president thought about it, and what even INEC itself, the spokesperson, Festus Okoye, said about it, so that you know that Peter Obi is standing on strong ground in insisting that on IReV and BVAS we stand. Thank you for watching this video, and God bless you and yours. And please don't forget, I will still do another series on this, because there are those who are still I saw where INEC was claiming that Peter Obi did not show proof that he got majority of the votes. I will show you how Peter Obi was able to prove in the final written statement that they have the majority of the votes. So INEC is lying when he said that Peter Obi did not prove that he had majority of the vote. I will show you where Peter Obi showed that he had majority of the vote in the final written statement that he has submitted to the court. Thank you once again, and God bless you and yours. Please look out for the video that confirm the position of Peter Obi and his lawyers in their final written address.
Section 47, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act 2022 makes it mandatory that to vote, the presiding officer shall use a smart card reader or any other technological device that may be prescribed by the Commission for the accreditation of voters to verify, confirm, or authenticate the particulars of the intending voter in the manner prescribed by the Commission. So the use of the BVAS is a mandatory provision of the law and is not an option of charity. The Commission does not have a discretion on whether to use the BVAS or not. The law says that we shall and must use the BVAS, and this Commission is committed to using the BVAS because we spend so much time, we spend so much energy, and we spend resources in putting together the BVAS. The BVAS was developed by the Commission's in-house engineers as a way of making sure that identity theft is minimized as much as possible at our polling units. So we cannot spend time, resources to develop the BVAS and then throw it away and say we won't use it again. It doesn't make sense. So the BVAS has come to stay, and we are going to continue to use the BVAS in all our elections. The Commission will also transmit polling unit level results in real time. The transmission of polling unit level results is also a mandatory provision of the law, as Section 64, subsection 4 of the Electoral Act has made it mandatory. We canvass for the inclusion of the BVAS and the electronic transmission of results in the Electoral Act. We therefore have a responsibility to keep faith with our own innovations aimed at the conduct of transparent elections driven and propelled by technology.
There is nothing like electronic transmission, because transmission is when you vote and it goes to the server. What we have passed, and I can recollect this vividly because I read that act when it was a bill several times, is to transfer, after all the paperwork that we normally do are done, the agents and everybody there, security, everybody will have the papers. INEC will snap or scan or snap the result sheet and transmit or transfer or whatever it is. That whether it is transmit or transfer is that thing that is captured with BVAS, the results. And for me, my understanding is if any result that was captured and sent differs from something gotten somewhere, that one is illegal. And only the courts, it's not us here that can do. So we urge INEC to follow the Electoral Act. And for me, my understanding is if any result that was captured and sent differs from something gotten somewhere, that one is illegal. And only the courts, it's not us here that can do. So we urge INEC to follow the Electoral Act and other laws.